This video is made possible by AutoTempest, the website that lets you search all the other sites at once for your next car. Go and check them out next by following the link down in the description. In the 1990s, the McLaren car company produced this incredible vehicle, the F1. At its time, it was the absolute pinnacle of performance in a production vehicle, and it had everything you'd ever want. A V12 engine that produced 671 horsepower, 705 Nm of torque, a redline at 8,500 RPM, sick doors, a driver-centric seating position in the middle, and a 0 to 60 mph time of only 3.2 seconds. All of this would have cost you $815,000 back in 1992 to purchase brand new, over $1.5 million adjusted for inflation today. It was the fastest car of its time, and when put down on a drag strip, it could obliterate the quarter mile in just 10.8 seconds. Unfortunately for the McLaren F1, this quarter mile time is absolutely eclipsed by modern-day supercars, and modern-day supercars may as well be in a completely different galaxy of their own when compared to the quarter mile times of top-fuel dragsters. This is the raw acceleration of top-fuel dragsters visualized. In order to appreciate just how unbelievably fast top-fuel dragsters will accelerate, you really need to watch this demonstration first. In this animation, I've created a lineup of the most powerful production cars that have ever existed, and I'm going to simulate a virtual drag race between all of them using each of their best recorded quarter-mile times. In this race, we have everything from the Bugatti Chiron, the McLaren F1, a Tesla Model S, and some goofy stuff thrown in like a Toyota Corolla because, well, of course, you know me, and some hypothetical stuff like the next-gen Tesla Roadster, whose quarter-mile times are as of yet unverified. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Alright, so it's going to take a lot longer for the poor old Corolla to make it, so let's dive into this and see what happened in a bit more detail. After just 2 seconds into the race, there's already a lot of interesting things going on. The Tesla Roadster has already, hypothetically, surpassed 60 mph, while the Porsche 918 Spyder is right about at 60 as well. After 3 seconds have passed, all of these cars have hit 60 mph, except for the poor Toyota Corolla, of course. Going forward to the finish line, the first car that passes is the Tesla Roadster, which Elon Musk has claimed will be capable of doing it in a mere 8.8 seconds. The first real vehicle that has actually been produced to pass the quarter mile is the Bugatti Chiron Sport, at a blisteringly quick 9.4 seconds while at 158 mph. Not far behind it is the Porsche 918 Spyder at 9.7 seconds, followed by the McLaren P1 at 9.8 seconds, and the Bugatti Veyron Supersport and McLaren 720S each at 9.9 seconds. Every other car competing in this race will finish somewhere between 10 and 11 seconds, except for the Toyota Corolla, which will take 17.5 seconds to catch up. To put into perspective how slow that is, rewatch the race. When starting at a complete standstill, the Bugatti Chiron will pass the quarter-mile finish line before the Toyota Corolla even hits 60 miles an hour. The acceleration is just absolutely bonkers. But the difference between the Corolla and the Chiron is comparable to the difference between the Chiron and a top-fuel dragster. Let's do this race again with the exact same cars, only this time include a dragster. Alright, 3, 2, 1, race. And just like that, the dragster won in about 4.5 seconds. Even with its fantastic numbers, the Tesla Roadster is barely even halfway down the track by the time the dragster is blowing past the finish line at around 390 miles an hour. That is how insanely fast one of these things accelerates, but how does it do it? Well, mostly because of the beast of an engine these things have inside of them. A single top-fuel dragster Hemi engine produces 11,000 horsepower. That's the equivalent of 16 Lamborghini Aventadors combined. When fully ignited and under full throttle, this engine will burn through over 11 gallons of fuel per second, which is about the same rate that a fully loaded Boeing 747 jet will consume jet fuel at, albeit at 25% less efficiency. If you assume that all of the equipment is paid off, the crew worked for free, and nothing actually blows up, the cost to run a Top Fuel dragster is over $1,000 a second. But overwhelming horsepower is just one part of the formula for speed. Top Fuel dragsters are also extremely lightweight, extremely aerodynamic, and have incredible grip because of their unique tires, which are kept at incredibly low pressures in order to maximize grip. When the engine's torque is applied to them at launch, these low-pressure tires will squat and the bottom of the tire will flatten out like this, which serves to increase their contact patch with the ground, which increases their grip and helps to pull the dragster forwards quicker during launches. The tires crinkling like this is a direct result of the driving force being applied to them more gradually, which makes the wheels spin less, which leads to better traction. And it's also just incredibly satisfying to watch happening in slow motion for some reason. While under full throttle, the dragster will go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in just 0.8 seconds. That's this fast. After just 2.2 seconds, the dragster is already at 200 miles per hour and has only covered 350 feet of ground. This acceleration is so violently brutal that it exerts a force of around 8 Gs onto the driver, which is comparable to the Gs experienced by First World War era fighter pilots during dogfighting maneuvers. Top Fuel dragsters will accelerate quicker than just about anything else you can think of. They're quicker than jets, and they're even quicker than the space shuttle during blastoff. But to really put it into perspective for you, think about it like this. Imagine you're sitting in a $140,000 twin-turbo-powered Corvette Z06, and over a mile up the road from you is a Top Fuel dragster which is staged and ready to launch down a quarter-mile drag strip the moment you pass. You've got the obvious advantage of having a flying start. You slam down the gas and scream through the gears down the mile of road, and you fly past the dragster sitting there at about 200 miles an hour. The moment your Corvette passes the dragster, its light goes green. The dragster starts and launches immediately after you pass it. You're continuing to accelerate hard in the Corvette, but within just 3 seconds after your pass, the dragster already catches up to you and passes before it ultimately finishes past the quarter mile before even you do. That's insane, but there was even one time back in 2015, during a race in Australia, where both dragsters blew up their engines just a couple of seconds into the race, and they still managed to finish their quarter-mile times in the mid-10 seconds, which is faster than a whole bunch of cars from that animation at the very beginning of the video, including, sadly, the Toyota Corolla. Now look, I feel really bad about bullying the poor Corolla like this. I love this car more than any other, but here's one more silly fact. If you placed a Top Fuel dragster side by side on the quarter-mile drag strip with a 2018 Toyota Corolla and you race them, the dragster would reach the finish line 4 times quicker than the Corolla would make it. But it's okay. I love the Corolla for other reasons, and after searching on Autotempest.com, I saw that there were around 300 of them for sale right now in the United States. Unfortunately, I didn't discover any dragsters for sale this time around, but you can pretty much find just about anything else you might be interested in. The great thing about Autotempest is that they bring together listings from all of the top cars for sale sites in the United States and Canada, so you never have to go around from site to site searching for a good deal on the car you want. You can just go on Autotempest and see everything all in one place. That's why their slogan is, conveniently, Autotempest.com. All the cars, one search. So go give it a try with the link in the description and see how much time you can save searching everywhere at once for your next car. Whether it's a Corolla or something a bit faster. It really helps support this channel, and as always, thank you so much for watching.